The Guardian's new political editor, Pippa Crerar, thought she had quite the scoop last night. Just like her incessant exposés on Boris Johnson's private life at the Daily Mirror, which were used by the rest of the MSM to help depose the democratically elected Prime Minister, her sights are now firmly set on bringing down Liz Truss. So, it started with the leak of an audio recording of Truss, which she claims is from the time she was number 2 at the Treasury. Now, according to the hysterically written Guardian hit piece, this audio showed the likely next Prime Minister launching a, quote, astonishing broadside against British workers. Quoted in the piece is Labour's ludicrous Shadow Work and Pension Secretary Jonathan Ashworth, claiming it's grossly offensive for Liz Truss to effectively brand British workers lazy. OK, so according to that, you'd think this recording must be pretty bad, right? Wrong. The leak, which is highly damaging, by the way, simply because we don't know who Truss was even talking to or in what context or why it's emerged now. But the recording certainly doesn't show what Crerar and Ashworth describe. I'm actually going to play it to you now in full so that you can make up your own mind without the ridiculous angling from The Guardian.
There's a fundamental issue of British working culture, and it's not, essentially, if we're going to be a richer country and a more prosperous country, that needs to change, but I don't think people are that keen to change that. So I think there's a slight thing in Britain about wanting easy answers, and I think that's my reflection on the election and what's gone before it. And the referendum is like, we say it's all Europe that's causing us all these problems. It's migrants that are causing these problems. And actually, what needs to happen is, a bit more graft.
So, you've heard it there in full. In my opinion, what Liz Truss was talking about is increasing British productivity. Surely that's something we should be aiming for, to increase our living standards. And I would have thought the left would actually have embraced her, saying our problems aren't the fault of Europe and immigrants. And yes, graft is bloody important. I say that as someone who has grafted in jobs to earn a living since I was 14 years old, without any connections to jobs from family members or a top education gifted to me. Graft makes the difference. Graft leads to success. The great British graft is so important for our future. But no, the British left, which seems to lack any ambition for our country, reacted with depressing doom. Watch.
Smearing British workers for the failures of Tory policies. Productivity and how hard people work are not the same thing. I mean, Shanti doesn't know what productivity means, in which case she shouldn't be Prime Minister or she's being dishonest.
She just thinks people don't work as hard. It's a total outrage. People getting up for those shifts this morning, working incredibly hard and, with respect, I would say considerably harder than the 2 Tory leadership candidates who are just picking fights with each other.
Is this who Liz Truss means when she says British workers need more graft?
You've got to come back for a night shift, you're earning in real terms a whole lot less than you did before, your groceries are costing more, and you find out the future leader of this country thinks you're lazy, and she says that we're looking for easy things to blame. Well, surely blaming workers for being lazy is the easiest and sort of dullest idea of all.
She didn't do that. So good on Truss for refusing to back away from her comments when asked about them for the first time on stage at last night's Conservative leadership hustings in Perth.
The Guardian has unearthed quotes from you when you were Chief Secretary of the Treasury in 2019 tonight, saying that what we need from workers is more graft. Do you stand by that now?
Well, I don't know what you're quoting there, but the point that I've always made is what we need in this country is more productivity across the country, and we need more economic growth.
Completely consistent, even though she wasn't even aware at that point of the leaked recording. By the way, there's nothing wrong with encouraging hard work and pointing out inefficiencies so that Britain can compete on the global marketplace. It's the left that will do our country down with a staggering lack of ambition, derision of success, and a feeling that profit is a dirty word.